Yeah,
Ravinder. Okay. Good afternoon, hello, and welcome to yet another learning and development initiative by NRAI. Today, we're going to discuss the role of risk assessment and role of insurance in hospitality sector. My name is Anirban Sengupta. I'm the owner of WhatsApp Cafe Kolkata and secretary of NRAI Kolkata chapter. Before I start today's session, let me start this session by asking a very simple question to all of you. What, according to you, is a key ingredient to start and operate a successful food business? Is it effective menu planning? Is it sourcing of the freshest ingredients? Is it the knowledge of marketing your brand through social media, ATL and BTL? Is it staffing? Is it managing attrition? Is it the art of throwing entertainment? You'll be surprised to know that while all of these are maybe correct, you may have all the ingredients to run a successful food business. But according to me, a key component in running a successful food business is the ability to prepare for the worst. It can start from a small fire. It could be food spoilage. It can be liquor liability lawsuits. And all your efforts there'll be curtains down on all your efforts by that one single accident. And hence the need to understand the role of risk assessment and the role of insurance in the hospitality segment. With this, I want to introduce a very special person who is known as India's youngest chartered financial analyst, a person who at the age of 20 represented India in New York Life Annual MDRT Conference in 2002, a person who very often gets invited as a guest lecturer in the country's top educational institutes, the IIM Bangalore, IIM Ahmedabad, IIM Kolkata. But that's not all. A person who every bartender in every metropolitan city knows, a person who every restaurant owner in not only India, but even places in Dubai knows. Because this gentleman not only works very hard, but he parties even harder. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce to you all Mr. Rahul Agarwal, founder and CEO, Ideal Insurance Brokers Private Limited, and founder of BNI, CBD and North Kolkata chapter. Rahul, I'm sure over the next few minutes, we're going to have a lot of insight from Rahul as to what we need to do to protect our business. So over to you, Rahul, and over to you, listeners.
Thank you so much, Anirban. Pleasure to be here.
Rahul, we are all eagerly waiting for your presentation.
Okay. Sorry, yeah. Okay. So thank you so much, Anirban, for this lovely introduction. Yes, I'm one of the biggest customers of the hospitality industry in India. And I'm really truly elated to share my knowledge and experience with this wonderful group. And I hope I'll be able to add some knowledge in your insurance management. So with this, I have a small presentation on how to effectively manage insurance. What are the key covers which are there, and normally the problems that we have seen. Okay, I will just take you through this in the next 10 to 15 minutes, and then you and your members can ask questions on anything related to insurance. Just a sec. I cannot see the presentation. Okay, Animal, can you see the presentation?
No.
It has not been shared, Harshita. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So first, we are a Calcutta-based. We started from Calcutta, but now we are present across 50 cities. We do about a 500 crore business in a year. We have more than 70,000 clients, and we have a 350 strong team stationed across India in different geographies of India. So these are some of the Indian cities that we are present in. We have a wonderful team, right? That's the best part about Ideal Insurance. People who have spent almost 20, 25, 30 years in insurance. So we bring a lot of knowledge to the table. Insurance somehow has always been sold, but our mission is to make people aware about how to take the right insurance and what is the best covers for them. Now, as a company, our strength is, of course, India is a very competitive country, so we always have to give the best deals for the customers. But most important is the claims management, where we specialize upon, and also providing, as I said, technically the right solutions. People don't even know how to take the right insurance, what to cover, what not to cover. So, service-wise, claims-wise, manpower-wise, these are the strengths that we bring on the table. And these are the areas where as an organization we specialize in, although we insure everything under the sun, but hospitality is one of our very very key segments. And then as I speak about it more, you will understand we are in fact one of the largest hospitality insurance consultants of India. Some of the hotels and I mean a lot of your members also that we are insuring across India, and we have settled tons and tons of claim, very large claims for these clients of ours. So now, I mean, I have some questions, right? That are your claims properly settled? Do you think that your premiums can be reduced further? Are there no fine prints in the policy? Do you have a loss of profit cover? Most of you might not even be knowing what's a loss of profit cover? And is your insurance managed professionally? If any of the answer is no, then my presentation will make a lot of sense for you. So first, what is audit, right? In an audit, what we do is we study your entire insurance portfolio and we give you a report on what are the mistakes in the covers that you have taken for your business, how that mistakes can be improved, what is the valuation mistake that you have done. So basically, it's a diagnosis of your entire insurance that we do. Now, coming to hospitality, as I always see, I have, of course, a lot of friends who are into hospitality. I'm sometimes surprised and shocked. It is one of the most riskiest business. Okay, you work on very late hours, right? There are multiple type of people who are coming. You have no control of the kind of customers who might be landing up on your doorstep. Right? You have very expensive interiors. You have kitchen equipments. You have air conditioners, chiller plants, and then you have fire in the kitchen. You're using fire, so you need to have a gas, right? So and we have seen how the pandemic affected the hospitality industry. So with all this risk hovering over you all the time, you need to be doubly sure that if God forbid something wrong happens, and which does happen, are you prepared at that time? And I will ensure in the next 10 minutes that I educate you on how to be very well prepared. So first, what are the basic insurances which are needed? First is the basic is fire insurance, right? For your building, if you're owning the property, your interiors, your equipments, right? Your DigiSet, cold storage, everything, right? And when I say fire, it means fire, earthquake, storm. I mean, we have seen a lot of, in fact, in the last 3, 4 years, we are we are noticing that the amount of natural calamities are increasing year by year, and that is also creates a lot of damage to the properties. So first is the basic insurance of fire. Then comes business interruption. Now business interruption is a very interesting cover because in hospitality, every day your restaurant is shut, right? You're incurring a loss, right? So we might be covering our asset, but many times we don't cover business interruption, which is also called loss of profit. So let's say if even if the AC goes down for certain reason and you're unable to repair it and your restaurant is shut down for 3, 4 days, that's a loss to the restaurant. Okay, or there's a small fire in the kitchen. Okay, so business interruption. See, I'm not going to do depth, Anirban, in all of this concept because insurance is a very big. But my idea is just to introduce the concepts, and of course, the members will have to dig in further. I will share this presentation later, and anyone wants to connect and know more about any specific cover, will be more than happy to help. Okay, so so business interruption covers that because of any damage, any accident, any robbery, Riot, strikes, fire, anything happens, even your business interruption can be covered. Please go ahead. Then your public and employers liability insurance. Now, another very interesting problem with many hotel owners is if anything goes wrong in your restaurant, the hotel owner or the restaurant owner is liable, right? Even if one guest hits another guest, okay, then even then the hospital, the hotel owner is liable. So there are a lot of liabilities, or let's say food poisoning happens, okay, or even if a waiter misbehaves with one of your customers, right? These are very common things, right? And today there can be a lot of liability suit, right? So everything can be covered. What I'm trying to say is, there's so many risks, but everything can be covered. Now, uh, cyber liability, all of us know, and I'm sure some of you might have fallen to a cyber prank, right? Or a cyber crime. Even a cyber liability can be covered. In fact, in your hospitality, I'll give a very good example. Without taking the name, it's in Calcutta only. So there was a group of youngsters who used to pay through Google Pay. Now, while they are paying, it will show the payment has happened, but the payment will actually not go through, right? And they did it to so many restaurants across Calcutta, swindling lakhs and lakhs of revenue for the restaurant. So this is a very basic crime, and then there are a lot of more things which keep on happening. Money laundering, bank fraud, everything can be covered under cybercrime. Now, coming again to business interruption, a very pertinent example is what happened in Taj Hotel, right? While we know that during the terrorist attack, it was a very big claim, but what people don't know, there was an equally bigger claim of business interruption because the hotel was shut for almost 6 months, and for those 6 months, Taj incurred a huge hundreds of crores of losses, and they actually covered those losses as well. Not only the property damage loss, but the loss they incurred because the hotel was shut down for 6 months, right? Even that can be covered, and that is something which most people are not even aware about. So again, some of the examples, as I was saying, breakdown of ACs in Park Hotel, leading to inundation of hotel rooms and lobby. Okay, there was a case of an employee doing something wrong in service tax evasion, and they were fined for 82.78 crores, and that could be recovered under liability. Again, fidelity guarantee, which is basically employees doing something wrong, even that can be covered. And then there are a lot of value addition in covers, right? Those are the basic covers. Then let's say there's a smoke, there's a fire, because and there's a smoke. Even if there's no damage to the property, the fire is extinguished, the smoke can create a lot of damage to the restaurant. Even that can be covered, right? Your employees personal properties, they bring something, even if there's a power outrage, right? You have a cold storage and the cold storage gets shut, even the losses due to that is covered. Okay, so yeah, please go ahead. So as I said that there's so many things that can go wrong, and everything can be covered in a very very small cost. Right now, we as a uh, ideal insurance, being an expert, we address all those underwriting and claims issue. We ensure that each and everything is covered. Okay, and we also guide you. For example, now we have also learned from our experience in the hospitality. So there were cases, for example, which we learned from, that your linens and some other cutlery and crockery, sometimes they are not part of the stock asset register, but they are also, they can be very expensive and cost a lot. So even those can be covered. Okay, there's a way of covering that also. They are small things, but can mean a lakhs of rupees during the claim. So you just have to be proactive when you are insuring. Then there's a valuation problem, right? Mostly people value your assets on a written down value or a depreciated value. Say you built up a restaurant 5 years back and you spent 5 crores in that. So today your book value of the furniture, fittings, everything is 2.5 crore. But if you do it 2.5 crore, that's a wrong value. Okay, so we guide you on how to take the correct value, and if you do it at the wrong value, you will get a very reduced claim, right? So valuation is also a very very key factor when you are doing your insurance. And then finally, as key man insurance, basically covering the key people in your restaurants, fleet. You might be having a fleet of cars which transports your people, or could be food stuff, right? You might be having very expensive artifacts in your restaurant, right? Normally lot of hospitality clients, they put wonderful pieces of art which may be very expensive, right? So again, everything can be covered under a comprehensive hospitality cover. So these are just of the add-on covers, okay, which are related to your industry. Why I'm putting this here is you would not have even heard most about most of these, right? But when a claim comes, all of this will come into play. And if you open your policy, right, you please will share this slide, and you just compare how many of these covers whether you have or not. And I can challenge you, most of this cover will not be there. But at the time of claim, there'll be a blame game. Till the time there's no claim, everything is hunky dory. When a claim comes, you will blame your agent. The agent will say, "You should have told me," but ultimately, you will have to bear the loss, whoever mistake it is. Please go ahead. So now you might be thinking that, so many policies, so many covers, it might be costing a bomb. But let me assure you, India is the cheapest country right now as far as insurance is concerned. And to make one thing happier, hospitality, although there are a lot of claims, but overall it's a profitable business. So the rates are very low compared to across the world. Okay. So it doesn't take much money to get a very comprehensive cover, right? And we, of course, as a company, we can assure you the lowest possible premium. Uh, You can also have special SLA when you are insuring your restaurants, where you can define certain problems. Let's say there are some kind of bills you are not able to provide, right? Some furniture bills or something, or for, let's say, for up to 50 lakhs of smaller claims, a certain documents can be waived off. Or let's say, you need the claim settlement to be within 2 to 3 weeks. Okay, so you can define everything before taking the policy, so that tomorrow when there's a claim, the insurer cannot backtrack on their words, right? Because you as a restaurant, you also have some service level agreement. When a customer orders, you ensure that you're providing them the food on time. You ensure that they're providing hygienic and quality food. So you also has a right to some, expectations from the insurance companies. And so these are some of the basic things that you can ask the insurance company to define on day one. Okay, some marketing for Ideal as well. So reasons to choose Ideal, as I said, we are an expert on hospitality. As you can already see, the kind of clientele that we have in the industry. We'll be happy to offer a complete free risk audit of your entire portfolio without any cost and without any business commitment. You can just, take the knowledge from us, get the report done, and please take it and walk away. We will never ask you for business. So we'll help you with special add-on covers. The service level agreement will be anyways be sharing this PPT. So this PPT is also good enough for you to, devise your insurance program. So this is all about hospitality insurance. I mean, it's a very vast subject, but I think we cannot download too much of information in this presentation. Okay. So thank you so much, Anirbanda, for this opportunity, and I'm open to any questions if you have or your members have, and if anyone has any problems you want to ask about that, I'll be happy to answer and share.
Thank you very much, Rahul. That's very, very insightful presentation. It reminds me of a very famous quote which I once heard from India's top cardiac surgeon, Dr. Devi Shetty. He had once said in one of his conferences that you can win a marathon, but I still don't consider you fit unless until I see your ECG and echocardiography and your lipid profile. So similarly, to all those restaurateurs who think they're doing 1 CR plus business every month, who are pretty slammed with guests even on a weekday evening, trust me, you may still be running a very profitable business. But before we call it a successful business, you need to insure yourself and you need to really take care of your business, because one small incident can bring the curtains down on all your efforts and all your success. So I really liked, we in our presentation we saw a particular incident which happened at a very, very famous nightclub in Kolkata, where the hotel got sued for 50 lakhs compensation. There was a fight which broke out The hotel probably was not at fault, but whatever happened, they got sued for 50 lakhs. And there are countless such incidents happening all over the country. So my first question to you, Rahul, is, there are so many risks in hospitality, like interiors, kitchen equipments, employees. Is it possible to get all of them covered under one policy?
So, great question, Anirban. Yes, there it is possible. There are companies which are providing a very comprehensive cover where you can cover your fire, burglary, liability all under one policy, which is not only cheaper but also easier to manage. Yes, for people, for your employees, you have to take a separate cover, but most risk which are related to your restaurant assets can all be covered under one policy.
Hospitality segment, Rahul, is, as we all know, is still kind of disorganized. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of restaurants might actually not have proper bills of furniture or kitchen equipments. In such a case, if there is a damage, can they make a claim?
Wow, wonderful. Great, Nimranda, because this is a problem we also face many times when people come to us for insurance that they don't have proper bills of furniture. So the way for insuring them is before you take the insurance, you get them valued, right? And you can ask the insurance company only to appoint a valuer who will value that furniture and equipment which are there. And based on that valuation report, when you insure your asset, then at the time of the claim, that valuation report will suffice, then the bills are not needed.
That's great. That's great. That's a fair assurance for a lot of people in this segment. But a very pertinent question: how soon are the claims settled generally, or is it Tariq pe Tariq pe Tariq?
Yes, I resonate with your sentiment. Claims is not a easy thing to get out of the insurance companies, but there are two aspects in this, right? One is getting the right policy, right? Most of the time, the policies are not made correctly because people have not have knowledge, or people try to choose the lowest L1 as it is popularly known. Okay, so you have to first ensure that the cover is taken properly, so that whatever incident happens, you have a coverage for that. And second is how fast you are able to provide the claims documentation. For example, if there's a fire, you need to provide some paperwork, right? If both these things are in order, trust me, the claims can be settled within 1 to 2 weeks. I mean, in Amphan, I remember we had settled claims in 3 to 4 days also. Okay,
Wow.
so having the right cover and providing. So if you are proactive, uh, even a large claim can be settled within a month. So it's a notion that claims are not settled on time is wrong, but yes, these two conditions are there.
Right. I think that's wonderful to know that, but many of us think that, claim to kar denge par wo settle hoga ki nahi pata. But that's good to know. Now, my the other question that plays in my mind, most of the restaurants that we see in Kolkata or anywhere for that matter in the country are rented properties. So is it possible to, insure only the interiors?
Yes, yes, very much. So, as per the rule in insurance, you can only insure what you own, right? So, if you have done the interiors and you have spent for that, you can definitely cover your interiors, your equipments, and the land and the property. The landowner can insure the outer structure. So, yes, you can very much insure the interiors.
Rahul, one of the most important factor behind running a successful food business is your staff. Most of the restaurateurs, if you go and ask them what is that one problem that you have, people would say, you know staff, proper staff nahi mil raha hai, retrenchment. So is there a way to get all your staff to be covered, because not only will it help in employee retention, but it will also ensure a lot of good practice. So is there a policy for restaurant or staff who work in your restaurant?
Yes, of course. For your restaurant staff, you can cover them for many different kind of risk. One is the basic is health insurance, and especially after COVID, there has been a very huge increase in sensitization towards covering your people, because ultimately, if you need good people, your people need good employers, and a good employer is someone who takes care of their people, right? So providing a basic medical cover. Now we know that most of the workers are middle class or lower middle class, and they cannot afford to buy insurance. So it is a duty of we as business owners to provide them basic health cover. So yes, you can definitely buy health cover even if you have a small team of, let's say, 5 to 10 people. Yet you can buy a group health cover for them. And then there's some other covers also, but yes, a basic group mediclaim and a personal accident, because there are a lot of chances of accident also. So these are the two basic covers you can buy. Third and very important cover is a workman compensation. So that is actually governed by the law. If anything happens to any of your workers, while they are in employment, you are liable as a business owner. And so let's say, even if there's a burn to one of the workers, then and he files a suit, right? Then whatever court decides, you have to pay. So even that can be covered under workman compensation. And just to finish on this, that even these covers are not very expensive, right? Let's say you have a team of 10 people, then giving them adequate cover will not cost them more than 30 to 40,000 rupees per year, which is like 2,500 per month. Now, to provide complete safety to your people, I'm sure that's not a very big cost.
So on that note, let me also ask you: is there a limit? Do you have to have any minimum number of employees to have an insurance policy? Is there a minimum
Yes,
number of employees?
yes, I think it is about seven. Okay, you need to have minimum 7 employees to get a group cover.
So what happens to those restaurateurs who may or may not have 7 employees? Can they still have some kind of an insurance cover for their employees?
Yes, they can take an individual cover. They might lose some benefits, but they can still get a cover.
Great. So I think, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you for joining us in today's webinar. We've had some very amazing insights shared by none other than Rahul Agarwal, the owner of Ideal Insurance. And there are some very interesting questions coming up. And the first question that I'm going to take up today is by a gentleman called Pranav M. Rungta. And also, let me also add my name to it because this incident happened at my restaurant also. So his question is valet damaging car covered, and if covered, under which category? Let me
Yes.
explain. A few days back, a gentleman came in a very expensive car, and one of my valets, while he was taking the car out, another car came and kind of brushed against the car. So this gentleman, tried to, sue us and ask us for settlement of his this thing. So how can we cover ourselves, and if we can, under which category?
So great. It's again a very common thing which keeps happening. Okay, this can be covered under a policy called commercial general liability. In fact, not only car, if there's any kind of assets that your customers bring, and if they get damaged, okay, they can be covered. So it's covered under a liability policy. It's called commercial general liability for a restaurant, and this is very much covered.
Pranav, I'm sure you are listening, and I share your woes because I have gone through the same problem that you may or may not have gone through. But Pranav definitely is
Sorry, I'm just
into
cutting you
it.
on it.
Yeah.
But having said that, trust me, 90% of the restaurant owners don't take a commercial general liability policy. And it's a very, very cheap policy.
Can you give us a kind of an estimate on how much this policy would cost for a medium or medium sized restaurant?
So it's not from the size, it's from the liability. So let's say you get covered for 50 lakh rupees, it might not cost more than 5,000 rupees a year.
Oh, wow. So Pranav has one more question, Mr. Pranav Rumta. He wants to know, can someone port from one company to another if the current company increases premium on renewal?
Yes. So in general insurance, you can change your company every year if you want. So for example, we as a broking house, every year what we do is we take quotes from multiple companies and we try to place the business with the company which provides not only the cheapest premium but also which is giving a better cover. So yes, you can definitely change your company.
I think Pranav, you're listening. Uh, Question by Mr. Harjot Singh. how to figure out if the valuations are done correctly.
Okay. So valuation is a very big and a little complicated subject, right? So you of course need to talk to your intermediary on how to take the right valuation. But I'll give you the key metric. So when you are valuing your property, it is not the book value. It is the we have to ensure on something called a replacement value. So what is the cost of replacing your asset today? I will explain you with a simple example, right? Let's take the example of an air conditioner in your restaurant. You bought an air conditioner for 50,000 rupees 2 years back. Today the book value of that air conditioner after 2 years of depreciation is, let's say, 20,000, but the cost of a new air conditioner is, let's say, 60,000. So you have to insure at 60,000 and not 20,000, because if you insure at 20,000, right, you will get a lesser claim. And also, if you talk logically, even if you insure at 20,000, but tomorrow if there is a complete damage, you will have to replace that asset with 60,000 rupees. So you are under insuring yourself, right? So remember the word replacement cost of the asset and not the book value of the asset. There are chartered valuers who can help you with the correct valuation in these terms.
A very pertinent question by Shraddha Raj. She asks, can business loss due to COVID or other reasons be covered?
Again, yes, very important question. So, business loss due to COVID is still now not covered because till the time COVID is 100% eliminated, this cover will not start. But I'm sure in times to come, COVID cover will be there. I'll give you example. You know, before the terrorist incident which happened in US in the Twin Towers, there was no terrorism cover available, right? But after that, once that was done, terrorism cover started. So I'm sure COVID cover will start. But apart from COVID, other reasons for business loss, right? For, let's say, as I said, a fire business loss. If there's a business loss due to fire or earthquake or flooding or riot strikes, those can be covered.
Great. Sort of Upal. Now, I really love this question. He asks a very simple question, Rahul. How can we reduce premiums?
Yes. So premium is of course a very important factor. But before we go down to how you can reduce premium, please ensure that you don't compromise on the cover, because many a time even agents, just to show that their premium is lower, they may remove some cover. So first ensure that your cover is proper. Then reducing premium is a very simple way. Take quotes from multiple companies. Okay, of course you choose the right companies, five six good companies. Take quotes from multiple companies, and whichever company is quoting you the lowest with the right cover, you can just place with them, or you can take help of firms like us who can help you take quotes from multiple insurance companies and reduce the premium.
So yes, there is a possibility of reducing the premiums if one is smart enough, right?
Yes, very much.
Snehalata Tigga asks a very important question. How can one assess whether the policy provides adequate coverage or not?
Okay, great, Snehlata. So now you as a restaurant owner will not know whether there is adequate coverage or not, right? Because you are good in your business. Insurance is a very technical subject. So if you remember, I mentioned about risk assessment and audit. So this is exactly what we do. We study your policy and we tell you what are the coverages which are missing. You can also take this presentation. Okay, we have mentioned all the covers which are there, which are important for hospitality. You can compare my presentation with your policy, right, and you will find out what are the missing points in your policy, or you can share your policies with us and my team can help you tell you which are the covers which are missing and how to improve your policy. But even my presentation, if you want to do it yourself, you can always use my presentation and do that yourself.
That's great. Thank you so much, Rahul, for enlightening us on that front. On that note, Aditya Latsaria asks another very pertinent question. Most of the staff in a restaurant are sole earning members. So, can we get other policies done for employee as a financial security measure?
Great thought, Aditya. Truly appreciated. Yes, so many employees, what they do is they buy a life insurance policy on their employee, okay, and they pay the premium on behalf of the employee with the condition that they will transfer this life insurance policy, let's say after 5 years, okay. So suppose you have given 50,000 rupees premium on behalf of your employee, you can take that. It's called an employer-employee policy, and with the condition that I will keep on paying for next 10 years, but this policy will belong to you only after 5 years or 3 years, whatever minimum time frame you want to have a lock-in, so that your employee also. So it's a win-win for both. One, you're providing him a financial security, and you're also locking in your employee for a few years of time, right? So after the 3 to 5 years, the policy can be transferred, and if the person leaves before that, the money. The you will get back the money from the insurance company. Of course, you can decide still whether you want to give that money to the employee or keep it with yourself.
Rahul, you know what? Well, that's a very good question by Aditya Latsaria and very aptly answered by you, Rahul. Thank you once again. You know, Rahul, one of the main pain points of in the restaurant industry is employee churn. You know, even for 500 rupees, an employee leaves an organization and joins another restaurant. So Sri Lakshmi Sudhir asks a very, very pertinent question. What, after taking a group insurance, if the employee leaves the organization and another employee joins? In that case, will the insurance continue with the new employee?
Okay, so of course I cannot help with the attrition, because we are also facing, every company is facing the same problem. But yes, in a group insurance, you have a provision. So let's say an employee joins today, okay, and you've paid for 1 year for the employee. If the employee leaves after 3 months, you get back refund for the 9 months. And if a new employee is joining, let's say after 3 months, you only pay for the balance 9 months. So you exactly pay for the number of days the employee is working for you, not a single day more, right? So if an employee leaves, right, you will get the refund for the rest of the year. And if an employee is joining middle year, you only pay for half the year. I hope you got the answer.
I hope, Sri Lakshmi, you've got your answer. Uh, I think if I think I can't thank Rahul enough. I think we have covered a lot in this session. We understood the importance of securing your business. We understand that restaurant business is probably one of the riskiest business to be in, and hence the importance of securing your efforts. Rahul aptly explained to us of some very, very common everyday problems that a restaurateur faces, starting from his valet damaging a car, if a business can be saved after pandemic situation, how to figure out if the valuations are done correctly, how to port from one insurance policy to another insurance policy, how to fish in the how to weigh all options and therefore smartly reduce premiums, and how to assess whether the policy provides adequate coverage. So I think that's a fairly good insight by Rahul. So thank you so very much, Rahul, for enlightening us and for giving us an insight on the role of risk assessment and role of insurance in the hospitality industry. Thank you once again, Mr. Rahul Agarwal, founder of Ideal Insurance and NRAI. On that note, let's get back to business. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Anirban. Pleasure.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Good day.